It's episode 12 of The Year I Got Skinny. This episode is about success in an unexpected corner. And so my weight loss was going so very well at this point, as you know from the last episode. In fact, I start this episode in early June of 2018, weighing in at about 160 pounds. My adult high weight had been 160, or set point weight had been 167 that I really tried to fight for over the years and rarely got down to 167. And here I am at 160. I hardly noticed as I passed 167 because I was just so happy and out, like living my best, my most vibrant life. And I just kept going and I kept losing. It was amazing. But something else was brewing on the sidelines. And it relates back to the story I told a couple of episodes ago about going into my family doctor, wanting him to do this thing and to try it. He had a weight loss clinic. He was going to be like the solution to the obesity problem here in Central California. Because he had a clinic. This is what he did. He was also quite obese himself. And I thought, think of the change that he can bring about in his people after doing this thing. But he said to me, and as I talked to him, he said, Amanda, I don't have anyone who would do what you did. And I walked out of there kind of shook and also realizing, wait a minute, what am I saying about this that makes it sound complicated? Because I think it's actually pretty simple. And so I took to Facebook Live a couple of months back in this timeline here and was showing people what I was eating. And what I was really doing was fine-tuning what I was saying about it. I was trying to recognize people's objections and just put information about that in there, address their objections before they even state them. One of them, for instance, is hunger. I can't do this because I'm going to be hungry all the time. You guys know, as a 1 meal a day eater, still often am, and you think you're going to just be starving. And so that's something I always talk about in advance because I know people are very concerned about that. And so I was out on Facebook practicing my spiel to go repitch the doctor, and something kind of crazy happened. Okay. Because again, he was going to be the leader, like the weight loss guru. He already had a clinic. I was busy. I have no plans I'm going to do like anything with weight loss. I'm stunned that I'm out losing weight. I'm not about to, lead some kind of weight loss thing. That was the furthest from my mind, frankly. But I wanted him to get started. Well, so I get back from the Century hike, and I was really burned out on the videos and stuff like that. So I didn't even take to a live video for 3 weeks or more, maybe more like 4 weeks. And yeah, full 4 weeks, especially having come back from the Century hike. And I went live in early July of 2018 for the first time in weeks. And something extraordinary happened in that live video, and I wasn't ready for it. Just, what? Okay. People had lost weight. People who had been watching the live videos had lost weight. Like when someone had lost something like 40 pounds, someone else 30 or something. I didn't know them in person. They didn't know each other. And I was just like, that was a Friday afternoon in early July. And I was stunned and just didn't know what to do about that. The idea, it's funny now because, yeah, you're teaching people, and my teaching was getting better because, again, I'm working on repitching the doctor, and so people were doing it, and we know it works, and so people were losing weight. Well, duh. Yes, but I was surprised. And so it's a Friday morning, and I got, kind of emotional. I didn't know what to do with myself that day. And it was that afternoon that I was driving around up here in the Giant Sequoia National Monument, and I just was driving on this rural highway, and there were 4 people in their 20s probably walking on the middle of the highway. Just it's a country mountain road, walking down the middle of it, like down the middle line of this. And I thought, they're not local. Maybe they're lost. And so I rolled the window down and stopped the car there in the road and asked if they needed help. And they were just looking for the best sunset view. So it must have been close to late afternoon at that point, trying to find the best place to view the sunset. And they were so cool and interesting. I said, well, I actually do know the best place. And I invited them up here. And we spent a few hours together that evening, and we ended up spending a good bit of the weekend together. I curated a hike for them that they went on Saturday, and they did that together by themselves. And then Sunday morning they came back here, and we spent the morning together. And we were just really clicked. And at some point, because Friday, I had mentioned something about I had just come back from VidCon, which is a big video conference. And as it would turn out, they were in the video industry, so they knew what VidCon was. And I remember the looks on their faces, and looking back, I know they're thinking, what is this old woman in the forest doing at VidCon? Good question. And they're like, what? So, but they didn't really ask or follow up Friday. But then Sunday, after a couple hours, or just like, chatting and getting to know each other more, and they say, what about video? You went to VidCon? What's up? What do you do? What do you do? Well, I had been going to VidCon for kind of other reasons, not for viral weight loss. I was foraging. I was picking wild plants here in the forest, and I had this idea that, I was building a foraging show. And I actually spoke with a producer from a network y'all would know about doing a foraging show. And so, but then these guys that day, they asked me that Sunday, what do you do? And especially because I'd been to VidCon. And I could have said, well, foraging or whatever. But I was in such a swirl about what had happened Friday in that live video, and had been very reflective on what is my leadership role with these two people who've already lost weight. What do I do? And so when they asked me that, what do you do? I just had one of those moments of, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. And I told them what had happened. I told them that I'd lost all this weight. They were shocked because, I didn't look at all like I'd really ever even been overweight. They were stunned, and that I'd lost so much, and that then these people showed up on the live video. I said, I'm so conflicted because I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. And they were like sitting there with their jaws dropped. And there was two men and two women. And one of the women looked so directly at me. And she said, you have to do this. And that was Sunday afternoon. And we went up to the Sequoia Grove together that day. And then it was Monday morning that I started the Eat Like a Bear Stories group on Facebook. And so it was that live video and then the chance encounter with random Instagrammers in a forest. That was the beginning of Eat Like a Bear and what you see today. But again, all of it was all designed to pitch the doctor. And I'm about to do that next and tell you guys about that.